Let's go to Clare Lopez. Then we're going to go to Michael Yon. Guys, go ahead and get Michael stacked up, and we'll just keep moving as quick as we can. Clare Lopez has been a guest on my broadcast many, many times over the years and sat at this very news desk as we produced a whole series of shows by her on Hezbollah. Now, isn't that interesting? She flew in here and she produced a whole series on Hezbollah, run by Iran. And what are we hearing about now, folks? Boy, that had to be 4 years ago, I'm guessing, that she came in here. A good 4 years ago, and did that series for us. And now, many more Americans and people around the world are aware of Hezbollah, as, of course, this is run by Iran. And what are they doing? They're waging war against not only us here in the U.S., because, yes, they're here along with Hamas and other terror cells, but they're in Lebanon, and they're increasing their shooting of rockets into Israel. We'll get a report from our other reporter on the ground that you guys help us support, Aaron, in just a minute. But think about that. Here we were 4 or 5 years ago producing a TV series with her, Clare Lopez, a former CIA operations officer, sitting at this very desk doing those multiple shows for us. And some of you probably thought, why are we talking about Hezbollah? Well, now you know. Now you know. Well, guess what? Guess what's coming up in Washington, D.C. soon? I didn't know about it. Claire alerted me about it today. Let me go there. If you go to worldviewreport.com, that's your daily aggregated news site, worldviewreport.com. There it is. Jihad Jamboree coming to Washington, D.C. Article by our guest, Clare Lopez. Clare, welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you for being with us. And then we're going to go to Michael Yon, Aaron in Israel, and Wes Peters. Clare, welcome back to the broadcast.
Hey, Brannon, it's so good to be back with you again. Glad to see you.
You too, Clare. Glad to have you back. Congratulations on this article being carried here by Pamela Geller. Jihad Jamboree coming to Washington, D.C. Oh, wow. Look at that. Muslim Legal Fund of America, Young Muslims, Muslim Student Association. I bet that's what MSA stands for, right? Yes. Look at all these groups. Tell me, what is this all about, Clare?
Well, you know, I saw it at this online website where this poster that you're showing right now is featured. And that website is March for Gaza, March4 Gaza.org. And that's where you'll see that poster right there. And to the top of the poster that's a bit cut off there are all the logos of all these different groups. This is a lineup. It's a who's who of the Muslim Brotherhood in America, basically. And so you've got these groups coming together to march on Saturday. That is January 13th, 2024, this coming Saturday. They'll be at the National Mall in downtown Washington, D.C. And all of these groups that are pictured there and their logos on that announcement are going to be there. And among them, we can go through some of them if you'd like to trip through some of these names here.
Yeah, let's do it. MSA, is that Muslim Student Association?
Yes, it certainly is. The very first Muslim Brotherhood front group established in the United States on the campus of the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, or Urbana-Champaign, in 1963. And we see now how the MSA has chapters on hundreds, if not thousands, of campuses, university, and even down to the high school level across America now. They're in Canada too, by the way. And this is their campus branch, which is responsible for a great deal of that anti-Semitism, Jew hatred that we're seeing exploding across campuses in America. Ever since, well, it goes back before October 7, but certainly since the October 7 Shabbat massacre in Israel. But yeah, some of the other groups on this poster include the American Muslims for Palestine, or AMP for short. They are a founding member of the USCMO, United States Council of Muslim Organizations, and that is a kind of a political umbrella group for the Muslim Brotherhood in America. And so AMP is a founding member there. The USCMO, by the way, established in 2014. AMP also is the parent organization of another campus group, be familiar to our viewers and our listeners, I think, SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine. The AMP is the parent organization of that, and they too, alongside of the MSA, are responsible for a great deal of this horrific Jew hatred on campuses, threatening Jewish students. By the way, AMP also is pretty tight with another political party. It's called the AKP, and that is the Turkish acronym for Justice and Development Party, which is the ruling party of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Turkey.
Which is a group you have done a lot of research on. I mean,
we have indeed.
We've interviewed you going back several years on that.
Absolutely. And they're tight, and we know they're tight because when they go and visit over there, AMP, their reps go to Turkey, and they take all these great photos and they post them online. So,
and they're very tight. Active in Washington, D.C., aren't they?
Well, certainly here they will be on Saturday, but the other part of that is that the Turkish government has a great big 16-acre campus, if you will, site.
That's right.
In Lanham, Maryland, where they have what's called the Diyanet Center of America. And that's the name of the website, too, by the way, if you wanted to look that up. Diyanet Center of America, Diyanet, D-I-Y-A-N-E-T. And that actually is the name of a cabinet-level department of the Turkish government for religious affairs. And that's what they've called this campus site, which includes a great big, very beautiful mosque, all kinds of meeting rooms and conference halls and guest quarters and so forth. And they are there literally about a dozen miles north of the capital of Washington, D.C. But that is the hub of Turkish operations. And remember, Turkey has a Muslim Brotherhood government, Hamas supporting government. That's the hub of operations for their liaison, Turkey's liaison, probably not only with campus groups like SJP, but also the Northern Virginia Adams Center. ADAMS also is an acronym, All Dulles Area Muslim Society Center,
which has a lot of jihadis tied to it. A lot of jihadis tied to that center, right?
Well, the former president and the, I guess, perennial imam there is named Mohammad Majid, who for a time, a number of years, was the president of ISNA, I-S-N-A, Islamic Society of North America. By the way, one of the unindicted co-conspirators, so named by the Department of Justice in the 2008 Holy Land Foundation Hamas terror funding trial. So that is the connection on U.S. soil, right by our capital, between the Turkish Diyanet Center and the hub of Muslim Brotherhood organizations, operations, the Adams Center in Northern Virginia, I guess really a hub of operations for the whole D.C. metro area, Virginia, D.C., Maryland. So, yeah, they're all going to be there.
How many people are they expecting, Claire?
Well, you know, we don't know. The website doesn't name speakers. We don't really know even who will be at the podium, per se.
And where will the podium be set up?
Well, we don't know exactly, but on the mall. Now, you would have had to have gotten a permit to hold an event like this on the National Mall. This is the great big, you know, open space that sits between the U.S. Capitol building and the Washington Monument. And that's where this is going to be held.
Are you going down there?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not going anywhere near. Besides, it's just going to be raining all day.
Okay. Well, so, I was hoping you weren't going to be going down there. I was going to advise you against it.
No. We'll let some intrepid, investigative journalist cover that if they would like. But I do want to mention a couple of the other groups that are.
By the way, I do have someone I think I might be able to talk into going if they kind of go incognito. So I'll work on that, see if we can get some footage.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a big crowd, so they could probably, mingle among them. But yeah, and I don't know the time either. I don't know what time it begins. The poster that you see there at the website, marchforgaza.org, doesn't have a lot of details like time that it begins or speakers who will talk. I'm kind of curious to know whether any of our congressional members, the ones that belong to the Jihad squad, as we call them, might be there. Representative Ilhan Omar, for example, from Minnesota, or perhaps Representative Tlaib of Michigan. Don't know. We don't have the names of the speakers, as I said, but here are a couple of the other.
I found a better poster. Look at there.
That's the full poster. There you go.
For those who want to know, it's March, the number 4 Gaza. March, the number 4 Gaza.org. There it is.
Yeah. So if you look at the list of those organizations at the top, alphabetical order, as you can see, we talked about AMP. The second one up there absolutely wouldn't miss something like this. That is CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. And what's interesting about them, of course, that's the U.S. branch of Hamas. Hamas itself being the Gaza branch of the original Muslim Brotherhood. But CARE not only involved as an unindicted co-conspirator, so named by the Department of Justice in the, again, 2008 Holy Land Foundation Hamas terror funding trial, a material support for terrorism trial. But interestingly, earlier, towards the end of last year, 2023, the Biden White House established something called the National Security Group, I think something like that, the name, for anti-Semitism, to counter anti-Semitism. And among the named groups and other individuals, that would be, it's a task force, that's it, the National Task Force for countering anti-Semitism. And among those tapped to be among the, I guess, affiliates or associates of this new task force, wait for it, CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. But right after the October 7 Shabbat massacre, it might have been a day or two later, CARE's executive director, Jihad Awad, took to the microphone and made some really despicable statements in support of Hamas and the butchery that it had perpetrated on October the 7th. And at that, even the Biden White House had to distance themselves from CARE and disavowed those statements, certainly by Jihad Awad, and I guess severed the ties with CARE for that National Task Force on Anti-Semitism.
I would guess so. I would guess so. So it's going to be at Freedom Plaza. Freedom Plaza at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I guess that's the meeting point. There we go. There it is. So the meeting point in any place, in any case, and then I guess moving to the mall.
And when you look at the endorsing organizations, it is a lot of them. I mean,
it's a very long, yeah. Again, I mean, we're not going to go through all these tonight. We don't have hardly enough time, but.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that, Claire. Communist Party USA. There's your red-green axis. The red being the Marxist, the green being the Islamic.
That's what I was getting to next. Exactly. So it's very much a red-green axis kind of an event. Because on the poster, the colored poster there at the website, they do mention that one of the partners that will be joining them, its logo is up there, its name is up there. Answer, ANSWR, another acronym, stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. Obviously they have been tight with Muslim Brotherhood. Anti-Israel groups like the Muslim American Society, like the Muslim Student Association for a long time. So it's no surprise that they'll be there too.
Which I think Freedom Road Socialist. I think Freedom
Road Socialist organization.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, as we know, is the parent organization a couple of steps removed from, wait for it, Black Lives Matter movement. That is the founding, the parent organization that eventually gave rise to the Black Lives Matter movement, the leadership of which openly on camera and film declared themselves to be trained Marxists. So Yeah, very much a red-green axis kind of an event coming up for us on Saturday.
Muslims for Social Justice. I mean, it's wowza. The head of CARE, what do you say on video? We have it. Black Lives Matter is our matter. Black Lives
Right.
Matter is our campaign. There you go.
This was back in December of 2015, where he was speaking at the annual meeting of MAS, Muslim American Society, ICNA, Islamic Circle of North America, Mass ICNA. And he was speaking there in advance of, as we'll recall, the coming, at that time, 2016 presidential election year. And so he was declaring his support for Black Lives Matter right up front there.
There it is. Act now to stop war and end racism. All right. If you get any more on this, please let us know, or anything else. Do you have a website or social media or anything you want to promote?
I do not have a website. I'm incorporated at Lopez Liberty LLC, and you can find me on social media. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, I still call it Twitter. Facebook. I'm on Truth Social, of course, and Telegram. And you can find writing and videos. Certainly have a look at the United West, the unitedwest.org or .com. Either one is going to get you there. And we have a special program there, which we have named after the IDF operation in Gaza against the Jihadi Hamas terror group. And our program is called Swords of Iron, the name that they use for their operation in Gaza. So please go to the unitedwest.org. You can also look at Citizens Commission on National Security. I'm also a senior board advisory member for Sargis Sangari's Near East Center for Strategic Engagement. Bunch more, but that'll get you started.
But otherwise, search for you under Lopez Liberty LLC.
Well, I don't have that website. I don't have it yet.
How do they find you on social media? What are they, just Clare Lopez?
Yeah, my name on Twitter and on Facebook. On Truth Social, I'm at Clarecho, CLARECHO. That's my Slavic nickname.
Awesome.
And also then on Telegram, it is at Lopez Liberty. So. But Facebook and Twitter, it's my name, Clare M. Lopez.
Clare Lopez. There you go. Well, awesome. Thank you for reaching out and letting us know about this today, Clare.
Thanks, Brannon.
Look forward to having you back.
Thanks much.
Clare Lopez checking in. Check out where she's posting on those outlets she mentioned.